Hi, Jen here from Jen Michelle Coaching, and today I am going to talk about the art of surrender and unlocking your feminine magnetism. Really looking at feminine magnetism as the way you want to feel, unlocking the way you want to feel, that love flow, that accessibility, that lightness and spaciousness that lives within the body. For those of you new to my channel, I would love to invite you to subscribe. I release a video weekly. Number one, surrendering and being deeply present. Now, I talk with many women who will share with me that it's hard to not look at surrender as a weakness. It's hard to not look at it as a way of resigning or giving up. But surrender is anything but that. Surrender is not a passive process. It actually requires us to dig deep and have full faith in something that we cannot see with our eyes yet. And as women, we are deeply intuitive, but we have allowed that to kind of get derailed by some outside expert. So we don't trust this part of ourselves. We need to go take a poll. We need to go cram it through, get somebody's opinion, all of these sorts of things. And I invite you to look at surrender as an active process of pushing up against a limitation that you've held within that has blocked you from really trusting yourself and really trusting where you are being led on a higher level. This means to recognize that you have everything that you need inside of you, that you don't need to go outside of yourself to go reaching for it. You can be deeply present in your body. You can meet the moment and show up without having to plot and plan or memorize something that someone else gave you to say. It is about coming back into self-trust and embracing the messiness of that process and uncovering just the truth of who we are and that beautiful template of what lives inside of you longing to be expressed. And so maybe it just feels like the faintest whisper right now, right? But as you lean into this and you push up against those areas of limitation, you begin to be willing to take that bet on yourself. And in the beginning, surrender will feel very scary. It will just feel like maybe like you're jumping off a cliff. But I'm not saying that you need to make big, bold, sweeping decisions that scare you, but little ways where, can I let this go? Can I choose myself in this moment? And using faith and being led by the divine or something bigger than yourself, because it's that faith that grounds us and actually allows us to take these bigger leaps of faith in ways that don't make sense to the world, right? But to like really shift this inner perception so we are trusting what lives inside of us and slowly beginning to unlayer and unravel this so it can take the lead versus the worldly outside, take a poll, get counsel, research it more type of ways. Moving from performance to being divinely guided, right? This is something you see in the world a lot where it's like, I've done all the things, I've checked all the boxes, I have the great career, I have all the things under my belt, but I'm still not happy. Now what, right? And this is where you begin to surrender this sense of striving, earning, proving, and recognizing what's leading all of these things. Is this authentic, as in it's light and it feels good and this is what's right for me? Or am I still looking to prove myself and show that I'm good enough in some ways? Maybe you do this in dating and relationship where you connect with another person by wowing them and impressing them with like your skills or things that you've accumulated or learned over the years. Where can you drop any of trying to prove to someone that you're a catch or that you're worthy, and instead just be in this feminine state of allowing, of receptivity, of knowing you're enough as you are, of in this beingness, and connect another to another from here, from not being afraid to have a gap in conversation, not filling it in just to fill it in, slowing yourself down, trusting that you're worthy of having space being held, right? But there's not these rushed, pressured, knee jerk reactions guiding you. There's just a slowness, a steadiness, an awareness, and a knowing that allows another to connect to you and see you from a place of wholeness versus you subtly trying to prove or earn, that really blocks that deeper connection that many, many women long for. Number 3, this leads me to surrender really being a practice of returning to wholeness. And it's not about perfection. Again, I cannot stress that enough. But when we connect to others, maybe from a place of trauma or from a place of like separation leading, where we've got this insecurity or we're not used to being treated a certain way. I'll give an example to illustrate this because I had a client do this that was brand new to me once, and she was telling me her story. And she was taken on a date, and it was to a nice restaurant, and she wasn't used to being treated well. So she told the man on the date, "No one's ever done this for me before." Well, that would be maybe true, but it would also be separation leading. She was having a hard time receiving. And that would just be something like, this makes me uncomfortable. I'm not used to this. But to voice it and need support to work through it from him conveys a message like, I'm not used to being treated well. I'm used to taking crumbs. I'm not good at receiving. Maybe I'm an overgiver, right? There's little subtleties where he's picking up on where she doesn't hold a certain standard for herself. So if you are used to taking crumbs, or if you are used to taking less than what you deserve in life, and maybe as a result you've overgiven or overcompensated or overproven in areas, let that be your quiet process. Do not let these parts that are still coming into healing lead you with another, because in this, we're subtly asking for permission or for support, being able to receive something that is quite beautiful and so rightful for us. And so catch these aspects of self that don't feel worthy and just lean into them. Meet them with curiosity, like, where can I just recognize that and instead open myself up to this experience I haven't had before, or being able to receive love or connection or presence in this way? Where am I needing to stretch my capacity and stretch myself? And in this, you do start to heal. And you do start to have a deeper gratitude and appreciation, and eyes to hold more, eyes to receive more, eyes for more desires to be fulfilled and come through in your life. And so this is a powerful invitation. And there's so many sneaky and subtle ways we do this, even though that example I gave you was a little bit more bold. Look at all of the sneaky ways that part of you, and maybe it's a prideful part, maybe it's like, oh no, like I got this, and notice, like, where could I maybe choose this differently and surrender it? Where could I just receive and allow that blessing to come in a little bit more fully? And so I would be so curious what this maybe evokes or brings up for you as you listen. And for those of you that are interested in going deeper, I have a new offering, The Surrendered Woman, where you can download a meditation, a webinar, and a PDF to really begin to strengthen this concept and this perception in your life. So this is a complimentary download. I would love to invite you to access this. I will have it up for a while, but it will not be a permanent offering. And yeah, see the link below if you're interested, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Much love.